Hi there, this is Al. Today, this video is gonna be looking at the Ice King himself, the king of, like, nothingness, Kyurem, of course, EX, our frigid cold guy. This is a new card coming in, of course, our Black Bolt White Flare expansion, the Unova set. It's gonna be interesting to see how it plays out in the meta when it does release, and Japan has it already, and we're going to see a little bit about how it's being utilized and talk about that today. So hope you can join me throughout, and it should be really fun. So let's go ahead and look at what the card does. That's, of course, the awesome art. Here is a translation, fan translation, PokemonProxies.com. It's 230 HP, water Pokemon. Doing slash and then Blizzard Burst is the main thing. Doing 130. For water colorless, this attack does 10 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon for each prize card your opponent has taken. So, okay, this is going to be spreading damage all over the bench Pokemon. What role is it going to play, though? So, like, with this Pokemon, it being this cool Kyurem, like, water type, I wonder about how it could be utilized with certain decks and things and by itself. But, you know, one thought is going to be that it could be a finisher at times or just late game, you know? It does the 130 and it still is just accumulating damage. And I think this Pokemon could be built around a damage distribution package. And, of course, I can see it with our favorite friends like Froslass, who has Freezing Shroud. During checkup, put 1 damage counter on each Pokemon that has an ability, both yours and your opponent's, except any other Froslass. They're safe, it's all good. And then, of course, our favorite friend, Munkidori, who has Adrenal Brain. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon has any dark energy attached, you may move up to 3 damage counters from one of your Pokemon to your opponent's Pokemon. Man, Munkidori is everywhere, and it is such a card right now. So much. But like I said, that's kind of what has been seen, is this idea of having Kyurem as, you know, the main stage of the deck, but also it is centered around these little helper Pokemon who will help spread damage, and we can win with this strategy, let's say. So if you see, here is some deck list examples, and we see that it is just a 2 of Kyurem. We have Froslass, a Glalie, and then a Totodile, which might seem out of place. 3 Munkidoris, which is a huge amount. But we also have things to help deal with annoying things, like retreat cost stuff. The air balloon can help with the retreat cost. The tool scrapper can help to scrap tools from your opponent's Pokemon. The Precious Trolley A-Spec is, of course, great to find and just bring out the whole crew easily, and so on. And we have Arven here to grab items and tool cards. Valuable tool cards like our TM Evolution to get things going way fast, and then we also have De-Evolution to be really annoying to the opponent, but not just annoying, it is strategic in the sense that, you know, if you can de-evolve your Pokemon and they have enough damage counters on them, you KO them, which is great. We definitely are playing with the damage package. And then Artisan to help find things. We have Counter Gain, Counter Catcher, a 3 count of those. Something interesting. Here's a similar list as well. This one has, though, Maractus. It uses the Unfair Stamp. This has a bit more Buddy Poffins, too. This one only had 1. But, yeah, we see similar things here, too. The Scrapper, the Devo, etc. So, it looks like the plan could be to rely on Badoo, perhaps early on. This one has 2 Badoo. This one also has 2 Badoo. So we're going heavy on the Badoos. We're having the Badoo in order to item lock, of course, early on. And then hopefully that'll be good to kind of just halt your opponent a bit and buy time as we set up. So what is the Glalie doing here? The Glalie is another potential attacker, actually. A single prize attacker, and since you're already running the Snorunt, it's a possibility to include as a one-of, potentially, because we are playing Snorunt already. And it has the attack for 1 water energy, damage beat. This attack doing 20 damage for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. So this could be a potential other attacker, since our main attacker is going to be Kyurem, but the others are, you know, attacking and accumulating damage in their own way and developing the board. I would say board is very important for decks like these, and that is going to be your focus on the early stages. Getting Froslass ready to go, and you could do that through having Badoo. There's a 2 of Badoo in both of these lists that we can see, and really trying to utilize that to slow your opponent down in the beginning like Badoo does so well, and being able to build up your Froslass and build up your damage through the game and stuff. Now, another option is going to be, of course, the stalling option here. And the stall tactics, I'm sure you can understand, work really well with the deck like this. The potential stall tactics could be with Totodile here, who might seem like an odd inclusion, but it's for that big bite attack, doing 10 damage, and then during your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon can't retreat. This would be a good way to trap your opponent easily early on as well, and then just go for damage accumulation. That is the strategy here. Now, this one has a retreat cost of 1, and it's also searchable through Buddy Buddy Poffin, but you can use a different stall tactic Pokemon. Maractus is probably also your first thought for a potential here, and it is certainly that. Maractus has 110 HP, so can't be sought after with the Buddy Poffin, but that's okay. It also has a nice ability of exploding needles, dropping 6 damage counters if damaged by an attack and knocked out. And then that corner attack is doing 20 damage as well, but the idea is there. This whole locking down your opponent's Pokemon in order to accumulate the damage and then clean up later with Kyurem EX is very real and something to try out, I imagine. And what about Shaman, you might be asking? Because the one thing with Kyurem is that its attack is not dropping damage counters onto bench Pokemon, it is doing 10 damage from an attack, and so Shaman can block that as a bench protection Pokemon. However, we are kind of easily able to get around Shaman as a counter being Froslass and Munkidori. Froslass is going to be accumulating damage on Shaman because it's already a Pokemon with an ability, but Munkidori can also just target it down and KO it fairly early on if you have the damage. Because it does big damage, it's through the damage counters of everyone combined, I would say. So yeah, there are a number of strategies going on here, and I'm sure that you get the picture here. Now, Kyurem as a deck and as an idea is still being developed, I would say. It's a good card to keep in the back of your mind for water decks going ahead, I would say, and things that want to pull off this sort of strategy, because this will be in rotation for a while, of course, just like any other card. And so this was just an early look at maybe some strategies on how you can play it, some early lists on how it might function best. But of course, this is going to be, I'm sure, reiterated upon or developed over time. But for now, this is what we're looking at. And as we get the cards, it might shake up differently as well. It's always interesting to see that happen. So let me know how you would actually play it if you are interested in playing it, or any points that you might want to add. But thank you for watching. If you really liked it, maybe consider leaving a like or subscribing for more content, TCG content and stuff like that. But overall, I still just appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye!